it's funny because it's like, shit, man, you know, we both play in a bunch of other bands and we've both grinded, you know, and so it's like, for a new band, you know, we could very well have been like 21 and this is our first like real thing. And then it's like, after you finally get through making that album, which a lot of bands don't survive that process, you hope that someone will hear it and be like, I want to do something with your stuff. I've got money. You know, that's what you hope.
The man with the cigar
like,
in the suit. I mean,
yeah, you know, and it was like, it came our way like so quickly, you know, we were like, it almost seemed like, really? It's all that we had to fucking do?
We just had to write this.
God damn it.
Just gonna sit down in your basement and write this.
Yeah, it's like, I'm glad this is the best decision we've ever made to make this album. You know, like one day we're like, we should make an album. That was it.
Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, brought to you by Sound Talent Media, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I hope that you've been having a glorious week so far. I most certainly have been. I hope that you were with us last night at the Thirsty Thursday virtual hang. We were celebrating my birthday. That's right. It was really, really cool, really fun. I brought 3 guests to the Thirsty Thursday virtual hang from my past, people that I've known for over 20 years, to talk about where I came from. They knew me in elementary school. They knew me in high school. They knew me as I was growing up in the Montreal metal scene. It was an absolute blast, and I can't wait to release that episode next Thursday, but I'm just super stoked that I had the chance to connect with all of you and my old school friends for my birthday episode, the Matt Origin Story Part 2. I love doing these episodes. Vox and Hops Brutal North America, which is presented by Indie Merch Store, fueled by Heartbeat Hot Sauce Company, and powered by Yakima Chief Hops, is wrapping up. The final collabs are now dropping. I hope that you had the chance to pick up one of these 22 brand new Vox and Hops collabs, which dropped all across the United States and Canada. I'm just so damn stoked and excited that I had the chance to do this, but it would never have been possible without the help of some amazing humans, and I'm going to talk about them for a little bit right now. I would like to say a huge thanks to Chris Kells of The Agonist for creating the mini docs, Mihala Petrescu for taking all the killer pictures, Philip Ivanovic for designing the killer Brutal North America artwork, Jeannie Bond for the label design on the cans, Philip Brousseau for all of the original music that you heard in the mini docs, Asher Media Relations for helping me spread the word, and Andrew Tremblay for the sick Brutal North America logo and flyer. I'm so damn proud of what we have built together. I'm so damn proud that all of these amazing musicians and breweries have come together to spread Vox and Hops' motto of enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. I am truly honored, I am truly proud, and I can't wait to see what we can all do together in the future. Before we jump into today's episode, I'd just like to ask you to follow the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. But more than that, I'm also asking you to rate it and write a review. Now, why do I want you to do that? I want you to do that because when someone is looking for a brand new podcast to listen to, what do? They scroll down, they look at those reviews. If those reviews are favorable, they will most probably give that podcast a chance. So if you were to write a review for the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, you might actually be the person that sways someone into becoming a future Vox and Hops head. And that would be something that I would truly appreciate. Now, in today's episode, I'm with Jesse Schobel and Jason Asberry of Stormruler. Get ready, everyone. This is Vox and Hops episode number 279.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today, I'm with Jesse Schobel and Jason Asberry of Stormruler. How are you guys doing tonight?
We are doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Let's start with a shitty question so that we can have fun and go somewhere else afterwards.
Yes.
How did you cope with the glorious year that is now behind us of 2020?
How did we do during the year?
How did we cope with it?
Oh, how do we cope with it? Actually, fine. I kept working. I stayed steady with my job, wrote a lot of music, stayed super productive musically. It worked out, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Likewise. I didn't really, my job wasn't really affected. So I just, mainly did more same things I normally do, although with a lot less, going out,
A lot more
drinking
less
with my friends,
social interaction.
Yeah, but certainly, like Jason said, wrote a lot of music for all kinds of different stuff during the year and a half so far it's been going.
Good for you. Staying positive, staying busy, keeping the demons at bay by using music as a cathartic experience is something that is very important. So I'm glad that you guys did that.
Sure,
yeah, got to.
Vox and Hops is all about hanging out with my metal friends, talking about their lives, music, and craft beer. Now, what beer are you sipping on there, Jason and Jesse? Do you have a beer?
I have got the this fine Motorhead Road Crew.
Oh yeah,
I picked up. This is actually the first time I've had it. Saw it at the store, so I had to pick it up. It's an American Pale Ale. It's all right, I guess.
yeah.
It's decent.
Who brewed that?
I mean, Motorhead, come on, gotta drink the beer, right? Road Crew. Jason made the point earlier, it should have been Road
Should have been Road Brew. They missed out.
Damn yeah. Hell yes. Who brewed that beer?
Ale Asylum.
Very nice. Very nice. How about you, Jesse? Are you partaking?
I am. I'm drinking one of my favorite hazy IPAs. This is Contact High Elysian. I don't think it's like too much of a microbrew because, to be honest, this particular beer I got at 7-Eleven, so that isn't really that fancy. But it is a pretty fun hazy IPA, of which I am a fan. But we have a couple other beers. We stopped by the liquor store down the street and grabbed up like a couple of our favorite and some ones we wanted to try or whatever for the event. So
awesome. That makes me very, very
There's a bit of a variety for sure.
Yeah, we've got plenty.
On my side, I am going to be drinking something brand new that just dropped here in Quebec. I'm from Montreal, so this is a Lupulone. They just dropped this brand new. It's called Cadors. It is an
IPA.
India Pale Ale. It is. They like to fuck around with this yeast that for many years they thought it was a Brett yeast, which means that it has a wild strain. It brings like earthy notes to it, but it turns out that some scientific man realized that it wasn't a Brett yeast. It just gives off some of the characteristics of that. So they like to fuck around with that. In this one, they got Ella, Vic Secret, and Galaxy Hops. This just dropped. I love the.
Oh yeah, that's like I was gonna say, is that plane like an underwater plane, or is it crash in the forest? Yeah,
in a crash in the forest. Is what
I like it. I couldn't tell if maybe it was just flying above the trees, but now as you look, yeah, it looks like
it's super dope.
The trees are surrounding it. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Very nice.
These
is that a bomber?
I think so. Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it,
B-71.
B-71.
What do I know? Maybe it's B-17. I don't know.
They fucked around with their name Lupulone. They put LUP203. So.
That's very. I enjoy the can. Oh yeah, that's that is the plane's call number. Of course, makes sense.
Very cool.
Little Easter egg there.
6.5%. They contract brew out of Avant-Garde, which is very cool. So they're basically gypsy brewers that don't have a home brewery.
Okay, yeah, this whoever will make their beer for them. Yeah, that's cool.
And they tend to stick to Avant-Garde for the time being.
I'm going to actually grab another beer. What's the product? Can I just grab as well? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I have a sweet. I don't know if this is tight, but I have the Juggernog Call of Duty Zombies mini fridge over here.
I love it. Do it.
Yeah, that's for the studio fridge. If you might be able to hear it plays a song every time you open it up, or it does an audio.
We'll be quiet.
You'll love it.
Oh yeah.
This Road Crew is only a whopping 5%, actually.
That's okay. It's a good starter beer.
It is.
Yeah. Is that Lemmy's call? I thought he liked to go hard, man. I mean,
well, but it's for the road crew. You don't want your crew to get all fucked up, right?
You don't. Exactly.
Touché. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Logic and reasoning.
So I grabbed, just so we know, a Contact High. This is from a local beer brewer from around here, I think, Four Hands.
Yep.
And I'm a fan because it's got the pinball playfield art style on the can, which I am a big fan of pinball. So this beer particularly speaks to me. Plus, it's a tasty brew. So celebrate.
That's so cool. That's cool. I just had the Lion's Daughter on, and they were drinking Four Hands.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you had Rick on.
Yeah, he's super fun. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers indeed.
See, this is juicy. It's not supposed to be like a juicy.
Oh yeah, it looks like a beer that I would like. I'm a fan of IPAs in general, so I like the color for sure.
It's gorgeous. Hops perfectly balanced, not too green. It doesn't have that hop burn, and it has that weird earthy, wild feel to it, farmy feel to it. But it's very enjoyable. Let's talk about beer. Let's talk about your first beers. Do you remember the very first beers you guys have ever drank?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I certainly do. I mean, my father was a big proponent of drinking Busch. Occasionally Bud Heavy, but mainly Busch. He would drink it like out back when he was like grilling or whatever. And like even as a young tyke, he would be like, "Hey, Jess, here, take a drink of that." And I'd be like, he would always give me like drinks here and there, and I always specifically remember Busch. And so yeah, he was a big fan of Busch. So I guess my first beer was Busch.
Shit, I really don't remember my first beer.
Oh.
I don't have a good story for it.
It was a clutch moment. Also, actually, to be honest, that was my first like drinking of beer, but it was also my father who was kind of the first dude to be like, to get me to like start drinking beer, because to be honest, like it took me a little, I mean, I was always kind of like, I love smoking weed, throughout high school and whatnot, but it wasn't until I was kind of in college that I started drinking a lot. Or more, and that was mainly my dad. I remember we were at my cousin's wedding, and he was like, "Jess, just drink a fucking beer." And I was like, "Yeah, I should," And I just started like that day. I just like drinking is all right, and then I still remember that moment as well.
How about the first craft beer? At what point did you realize that beer could be more something that could be an experience, something that can be like, a higher level of delicacy?
A higher level of
delicacy. Fine wording, friend.
I like that.
Quite the pros.
Well, I, for one, I'm a big fan of the IPA, as I've said. I don't love many types of beer. Like I'm not a big on the sours. I don't like coffee. Like I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee person, so I'm not a fan of the coffee beers.
I'm not a big beer drinker outside of the Busch, but coffee stout is.
I tried to get Jason on the IPA train, but he's really not a big fan. Yeah, he's not a big fan.
Not for
even
me.
The juice, even the sweet, jussy.
Something about it. I don't know.
There are a select few I can get behind. Yes.
Yeah. But I too will say sometimes I just want to crush beers. Sometimes I just want to drink a bunch of beers, and I don't necessarily want it to be like a hop.
See, anytime I don't drink just to drink. If I go to drink, it's usually I'm going to be drinking a lot, so I'm probably going to grab a case of Busch. Yeah, drink Busch all night.
Busch is probably my favorite. Busch and Miller Lite are my favorite crushing beers. If I can drink like a good amount of those and like as opposed to I can't drink like 12 of any craft beer really, or I don't know, maybe I can, but I don't really like want to. I don't in general. They
tend to be a bit heavier, and the ABV
it can be
far higher, so it hits.
Of course, but
too.
I love the taste. If I'm drinking for the taste, then I will certainly go for lagers, an occasional Hefeweizen. And I'm not like, again, not a huge beer nerd, but I do have a handful that I will go for on special occasions. And if I go to bars or whatever, rarely will I just get a bucket of Bud Lights. So I have friends that are fans of that. So I mean, I'm down. I don't discriminate. I don't judge either, but I do love a nice contact high every once in a while. Oh boy.
Who doesn't? It's always fun to get high off of someone else's supply.
That's right.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. I have one guitar player, another band I'm in, and I always like purposely like man, there's been a couple of times where I know he's been like, I feel like I'm getting a little extra buzzed over here, and I'm like, that's where those killer riffs are coming from.
Let's talk about the soundtracks of your youth. When you're growing up in your parents' or guardians' house, what music was playing when you were not in control of the music? What music did your parents or guardians listen to?
I grew up listening to a lot of Kiss, a lot of Kiss, a lot of classic rock. My brother and my cousin were very, very big Kiss fans as kids. They're obviously older than me. They used to steal my grandparents or my grandma's makeup and put Ace Frehley's makeup on me when I was like 6 years old and shit. So I got started pretty young with rock and roll. I can thank my dad for a lot of that as well. He's a big rock and roller.
That's awesome. I hope there's pictures of that.
There are somewhere, I'm sure.
That is funny.
hidden away somewhere.
Lipstick freely.
Deep in the depths.
Yeah. For me, my parents loved the Grateful Dead a lot, and
a lot of Pink Floyd.
Yeah, my parents were not fans of Pink Floyd,
Really?
which is I remember seeing like a concert on TV, and they were like, "Is this Pink Floyd?" And I remember being like, "What are you talking about? This looks tight as hell, man! Like rad, like circular light show." And like I was like,
my dad bought me Pulse when I was like 15, and it fucking changed my life.
Yeah, if I had gotten a dose of that,
it was
my friends that got me into Pink Floyd in high school. We would listen to Dark Side and shit while hotboxing and bong hits in the car. But yeah, my parents did not listen to like metal or anything. My dad was a big fan of Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. He would rock that record on the reg. He would the Who for sure, the Beatles, you know. Inagata Davida.
Iron Butterfly.
When I started playing drums, his big thing was always, "Hey, Jess, can you play this?" You know, and he would just say that like at any given drum part. You know, he'd be like, "Hey, can you play this?" And it got to the point where I'd be like, "Yes, Dad, I can play that." Or sometimes I was like, "Actually, I don't know. That sounds kind of tricky or whatever." But
also a lot of Motley Crue.
Oh man, dude, you had
there was a shitload of Motley Crue. And
no way. My parents
some Judas Priest. My dad introduced me to.
Yeah,
he's a listener of all music though. He's a fucking.
You had a good dude.
I had a whole musical family. I mean, half my family are a bunch of bluegrassers, so
that'd be nice. My sister and I watched MTV every day, so that was
their education.
It was, you know, and this was in the era of the heyday of MTV, you know, and then like Beavis and Butthead came along, and that was huge because you got to see a bunch of videos that you wouldn't normally see, you know. And that was pretty rad. And if Beavis and Butthead like something, you're like, wait, this could be something going on here or whatever. My sister was a big influence. She'd be like, "Oh, Jess, this song's cool." And I'd be like, "Okay." And then I'd watch it, be like, "Cool. That song was cool." And then she'd be like, "Oh, this song sucks." And I would watch it, be like, "That song did suck." And, you know, and like, you'd watch videos. I remember being like, "Man, this song, I don't even care about this song. This video is tight," you know. And then you see the drummer playing drums for like just a second, and that's when I got the idea of like how to set up my kit. You know, it's like, oh man, it looks like he's got like a big cymbal right here, and then like a little cymbal snuck in between. Like, I can only see that one shot of the video, and then like next time that video come on, I'd be like, does he have the one? Yes, there is a little cymbal. There is a little cymbal there, and then that's how I would work that in. You know, it's like hugely influential. Huge.
Oh, kids are so spoiled nowadays.
Oh man,
no, they are not. They don't have MTV playing videos. You know, they've got God knows everything. What now. I guess you're right. It needs to be put in front of you. You know, you need to be like seasoned in. You needed to have to wait for that Sponge plowed, you know, song that was really tight, or like, you know, Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer. You know, like I want to see that video. You know, you wait all day for it to finally come on. Like, yes.
It was curated for us. It was amazing. Nowadays, it's hard for people to find stuff because it's not curated. There is no.
It's oversaturated.
That's over.
It's the algorithm. The algorithm is curating, and that's scary.
It is. Who knows these algorithms?
Let's talk about your first shows. Do you remember the first shows that you went to go see?
Yeah, my first big concert was Van Halen.
Wow.
I mean, I went to like a couple little local shows before that, but Van Halen with mostly original lineup. Obviously, David was doing vocals and Wolfgang was playing bass. It was fucking awesome. It was great. I think I was 13 for that.
What was the first CD and tape you ever bought? I don't know if that was your next. If those are your next questions.
That is a good question. I should write that. I don't ask that question.
That's a good one.
But that is a good one.
First CD I ever bought. Shit. I don't know. I was given a lot by my brother. My brother gave me a lot of music.
Yeah, see, there's a difference between the first tape you ever had and the first tape you ever bought /CD, you know.
Well, let's be honest. I'm 26.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes... Okay, first CD you ever bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was yours,
Matt?
It was at the same instance. We were going to my cousin Kevin's wedding. I was probably in grade 8 or 7, or the summer between the two. And I picked up at the same instance, and they're so different at the same time. Super Canadian, the CD. I picked up Moist Creature. It's still a banger CD, full of hits. Totally not metal.
I don't know if I've ever heard of it.
Oh, it's awesome. It's just ripping. Moist.
I like it. I like it.
Only from Quebec you can pull that off, right? But
of course.
And the tape was the same at the same store, same instance, was Portrait of American Family by Marilyn Manson.
Is that the one with Get Your Gun on it?
Yeah. And Lunchbox.
Remember that video? That video fucked me. Yeah, Lunchbox. My friend from school would always be like, these motherfuckers want to get Yeah, dude. I mean, that shit was important, you know? Your first physical thing. You look through the lyrics and you read the credits, it meant nothing to you, but you're like, who are all these people? A&R rep, what? You know, and like the smell of it, you know, the smell of the CD when you unwrap it and struggling with it and you're driving
the cellophane.
Yeah, I remember the first tape that I ever bought was Fine Young Cannibals.
Really?
Because they had like a video on MTV.
Yeah, my dad had that one. Yeah.
But the first tape that I was ever given, actually the second or third tape I ever bought was Appetite for Destruction. And I remember unfolding that tape and seeing the old school art, you know, the teeth sword monster and whatever, and then the robot guy, and then like the chick who's like laying there like with like her tit hanging out, you know. Do you remember this art? Are you familiar with this art? Dude, it's nuts. I remember young me was like, what the shit is going on? Like, what the fuck? And I remember I was like, this shit hits. And the first CD I ever bought was Primus Pork Soda.
Very nice.
Yes, and I read those lyrics and was like, man, this shit is dark. Or what the hell? I had a friend who took a belt and hung himself. Fucking Bob. You know, and of course the air is getting slippery. I remember being like, man, what the shit? This is a fucking I love it. And first concert, New Kids on the Block.
Oh, no way.
Second concert, New Kids on the Block.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. I was in like 4th grade, you know, 3rd to 4th grade, whatever. I was super young. My sister was like 2 years older than me. She was down with it. I didn't know anything. I just thought like dancing was cool, you know, whatever. And like my dad, he swung the tickets because he worked for Anheuser-Busch, speaking of beer and whatnot. And he was like friends with the licensing dudes or whatever. And yeah, we went and saw him. I remember Big Audio Dynamite opened up for him the second time. That was the guy from the Clash.
Really? Okay.
He formed like a maybe post Clash. Can't remember which guy. I'm not super up on my Clash knowledge, but a Clashite formed Big Audio Dynamite, and that was I remember seeing them being like, man, this is kind of like cool, you know. That was my first like concept of an opening act. You know, I was like, okay, so I'm here to see New Kids on the Block, but I'm gonna watch these guys or whatever. And I was like, this is totally like different or whatever. You know, I was like, this is a different thing. And then like, you know, that was my first concept of like a band opening up. You know, I remember being like, I guess that has to happen. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, some shit for sure.
Which New Kid was your favorite?
Great question.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't know. Probably Donnie Wahlberg. You know, he was the bad boy of the group.
He was. How about your first shows on stage?
Playing. Do you remember yours?
Oh yeah.
I was the first time I played in St. Louis. I guess at a real club. I was 13. I played with a middle school band. It was a horrible show. Nobody was really there. It was a band from Nashville, but it was a cool experience getting to play really an old legendary venue in St. Louis that closed. You have probably played there, the Creepy Crawl. Did you ever get to play Creepy Crawl?
I think so.
Yeah, I forget what year it closed down, but I did get to play there.
The place was legendary. Yeah. And appropriately named. It
was a great experience, though. Obviously, first show ever. I was just stoked to get out of my small town and come up to St. Louis to play.
Yeah. First show, man. Oh boy. Yeah, it was. There's a story for this one too. Yeah, so my friends and I in grade school. So this was at Off Broadway, which is a club still open in St. Louis and not really known for metal or necessarily shit that's loud, but they'll get loud, but not like metal loud.
It's a good blues bar.
Good venue, legendary club here. So this is the summer between 8th grade and freshman year. I had a band with my friends in grade school, and we never really had a name, but my dad, I know he keeps coming into this stories. He was a fan of the local like kooky radio show called Brain Sandwich that's on our like local station, where they would play like funny songs. They were like a humorous music station that we would listen to regularly in the car. And I always thought, actually, I will admit some of the songs were pretty funny. Boot to the Head is a classic. But anyway, he heard that they were doing like a battle of the, not like a battle of band, but more like an open mic thing and like whoever was the best band would get like $50 or something. I don't know. There was a prize, I recall. And so he signed us up, or he got us in on it under the name Stool Sample. Okay. And so we had a gig. It's at a bar, a legit club that people still play at in town, and went on stage and we played 2 songs, 2 Green Day covers, I believe it was. Paper Lanterns was one, and then the other might not have been a Green Day song, might have been something else. We were big Green Day fans, and this was like, let's see, I went to high school and I was a freshman in high school in '97, so this is like '96, we played 2 songs and we got second place, or maybe maybe they just told us that because they thought we were cool, or
just a few
they wanted us to feel cool or something. But yeah, that was definitely my first experience, like loading in and setting up and mic'd up, and here's lights and playing the songs and being like, whoa. And I remember it was kind of a rager. I mean, like, we did well, there wasn't like any awkward shit or anything. We crushed it. we killed it. So
ours was terrible, but it was just fun.
I'll never forget it. I still remember.
How old were you during that?
So I guess, this is 1996. So 14. How old are you when you go to high school? 14, 15? Yeah. So I was like the summer between 8th grade
when I started. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They probably do it all weird up in Canada. Yeah. But
funny side story. I actually got banned on Facebook the other day because there's a black metal band out of Canada now. You may have heard of Spectral Wound, who are fucking
they're from Montreal.
Yes.
Yeah, great band. Great band. And because they're good, my friend posted their new record, and I said, "Damn Canadians," because Canadians always seem to be good at everything, musically at least.
Yeah, especially hockey.
And obviously hockey. But I caught a fucking 3-day ban for it.
For damn Canadians?
For damn Canadians.
Jesus,
for really like saying Spectral Wound was good.
Yeah. It's all about the
Big
content.
Brother, man.
But I digress.
Dude, God, that is garbage, though.
What was the chorus to Boot to the Head?
Oh man, it goes boot to the head. Yeah, boot to the head. Yeah, boot to the head. Yeah, boot to the head. Yeah. Yeah, the song had a skit at the beginning where a guy would walk into the dojo and he was like, they'd walk in and he'd be like, hello, like that. The sensei would be like, how is it doing today? And the guy would be like, yeah, I got this karate place. Yeah. And he'd be like, hello, yes, this is the Sunshine Dojo. And then he'd be like, yeah, I want to take karate. I want to learn how to whoop some ass. I want to learn how to fucking, do some serious damage. And the guy would be like, what is your name? Yeah, my name is Ed Gruberman. He'd be like, hello, Ed Gruberman. Ed Gruberman. And then the guy would talk about how he wants to kick a lot of ass, or just like, be the obnoxious, the anti-karate, the Cobra Kai of karate, if you will. And he would be, and then the sensei eventually, he was like, show me some moves. I'm going to come at you right now. And the sensei goes, boot to the head. He just goes, boot to the head. And then the sound effect goes, And then Ed Gruberman's like, God, what the hell? What was that? How dare you? I was just trying. Anyway, it's the whole song with a skit. And then they go into the song Boot to the Head. It's hilarious. I give it a listen. I'm sure it's on YouTube or something.
Is it worth the dive?
No, I mean, yes, it is for one laugh to see if it's exactly how I tell it, and it is. But other than that, no.
Amazing. Let's talk about Under the Burning Eclipse. You guys just
we're
dropped
gonna get serious. Okay.
this record.
I need a beer, actually. I'm already ready for another one. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Go ahead and, I'm gonna pull one from there. I'll wait for you.
All right.
So
we can take a break and I'll just cut it in.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You can listen to the sweet fridge again.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, go for it.
I just pulled out I used to work at a bar, and I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but this one is called Angel and Sword. It's a local brew, I'm pretty sure.
Very nice. Who brewed that one?
Civil Life.
So there is a couple
Civil
of
Life.
them.
Civil Life. It's delicious.
Yeah, they're local beer from right here,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Civil Life, sure. Yeah.
Killer. Let's talk about Under the Burning Eclipse. It came out May 28th via Napalm Records. Very cool. First record for Stormruler. You guys are seasoned musicians from other projects, of course.
Yes.
Right onto a huge label. It's awesome. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it was unexpected. I mean,
right in the middle of a pandemic.
We said the same thing. We're like, it's a weird
Yeah,
time. It's a very weird time to get signed.
It is. And we were like, is this a good time or a bad time? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Did we take it here? Yeah, we're not sure how it would going to turn out.
Was there a moment where or did you even have the choice to hold on to the record before releasing it so that you could wait to tour it? Is Stormruler a band that will tour? Two-part question.
We definitely will tour. Stormruler, initially started out as a side project because we wanted to write a black metal album that we just wanted to hear. We've known each other for a long time, but we never had a project together. Yeah,
this isn't like a band that we existed and played a bunch of shows around town and then opened up for the bands to come through and whatever or anything like that. We just made this record kind of.
We sat it down and wrote it in like a couple months back in 2019.
Yeah,
we were sitting around doing nothing.
We didn't have big plans for anything.
We just came down here with some riffs and we're like, let's write some shit.
Yeah. And we certainly were not expecting, if anything, we were hoping that maybe the years long grind of, maybe make a couple of more albums and someone might care eventually. It's like, it only took 2 days.
Because honestly, we didn't plan on doing a whole lot with this release because we already had a bunch of other material written. So it was like we wrote this album, and after like a year and a half of here and there recording it and hearsay, we decided we're like, let's go ahead and put it out. That way we can get this release done, see what happens, and then write this next one and actually try to shop it or something. We could hand it out to somebody. But we ended up just giving it to a Black Metal Promotion, the YouTube channel. And they they premiered it on, which they have a great following. They premiere black metal albums every day. And
they were really the ones who kind of like
they premiered it
through.
They premiered it December 1st. A few days later, Napalm was in our email about it.
Yeah. And like we thought it was so weird because we have like no existence,
we have
history.
I made the socials like 2 months before. Released the record.
It was just a one-off thing. It's kind of like what every band kind of hopes happens, You form, you make an album,
you expect
then right away, shit was just, they were like all about, or they were into it, and we were holy shit, is this real? We're like, we did nothing. We are no one.
We were pretty stoked about how kind of grassroots it actually ended up being for the day and age that it actually is.
Yeah, like aren't you supposed to have like this, work really hard and do a bunch of stuff?
Post like
obviously
500
we've done that in our other bands, but it's like this project, for all they know, and did not have any existence prior to Napalm's interest, really. Like we were just like, we made the album, put it out with a cover, Because we would get some physicals
we had
one day.
We had very little time to actually get this
Yeah.
whole package and shit.
We had to
together.
like become.
We had to become
band.
a real band. We had to like get everything you need to be a real band. We're like, fuck.
We had to like become a band in like a month.
Shit.
Yeah, get some pictures taken, get some artwork, get physical templates made up for physical copies of the album and all this shit. Picture. Forms. Homework galore. There was lots of shit to do.
In short. Not even just he and I, the other people that actually helped us out.
Lots of help
busted
from
ass
friends.
to get this shit done for us.
Yes, we definitely got some help.
Quite a bit of help.
So it was like it's been quite the ride so far. Like here we are. Talking to you on your pot. Like
it's incredible. It's like a dream come true.
It kind of is.
So many musicians have this dream of getting signed, getting that email. When you first opened your email that day and you saw Napalm Records, were you like,
I was like,
this is fake.
At first I looked at it and I was like, Napalm Records.
Yeah,
I was like the Napalm Records. I was like, I'm gonna wait to respond to this. I'm gonna go over to Jesse's house and we're gonna talk about this.
Like, we are from Napalm Records. Napalm.
It's like, what is
records?
What is
recharge?
Napalm Records' actual email address?
Yeah, we're like, man, this is really cool. Like.
Now, thankfully, we have another buddy who sort of works in that industry and sort of knew the A&R's name.
Well, you probably know Mark Kleppel from Misery Index.
Yep.
Yeah, he and I are in a band.
You played in Scour together too.
Well, we never played in it together.
Okay, but
I was the original drummer. Yeah, he joined later.
Of course.
We played in together in Cast of Stone with Derek Engelman. So, and Mark and I have been friends since like year 2002. When we were friends at Mizzou. So like he was a guy when this came our way, we just kind of talked to him and we're like, hey man, just look at what we got, and he was like, holy shit, your name got picked. Looks like they picked your name out the hat. I was like, yeah, fucking hey, like look at this.
We're like, yeah, this guy's a legit dude. He's like, yeah, he's legit. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he helped us with kind of the negotiation and
kind of steered us in the direction of what not to do.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
It comes down to that thing once again. It's not about how many people hear you. It's about who hears you.
Yes.
Yeah. And when, and what time,
Random. We have been saying we sort of hit the musical lottery there.
We did. And it's funny because it's like, shit, man, we both play in a bunch of other bands and we've both grinded, and so it's like, for a new band, we could very well have been like 21 and this is our first like real thing. And then it's like, after you finally get through making that album, which a lot of bands don't survive that process, it's like you hope that someone will hear it and be like, I want to do something with your stuff. I've got money. That's what you hope.
The man with the cigar in the suit.
And it was like, it came our way like so quickly, we were like, it almost seemed like, really? It's all we had to fucking do?
You just had to write this.
God damn it.
You just gotta sit down in your basement and write this.
Yeah. It's like, I'm glad this is the best decision we've ever made to make this album. Like one day we're like, we should make an album. That was it. I was like,
so maybe it's almost a blessing that it's a pandemic and you guys didn't have to just jump right out onto the road. And now you have actually the time to make the band.
Well, that has also come up in conversation as well. Our manager, you probably know as well, Maurizio, yes.
Which is super cool that you guys got onto Hard Impact Management.
Yeah, which is the guy who found us. He's the reason for that. So thank you, Sebastian.
There you go.
Sebastian fucking recommended him.
Maurizio's a great dude. He's been helping us out a lot.
Yeah.
I got sidetracked. What the shit?
What were we talking about?
The pandemic.
The pandemic.
Giving you time to.
Like we've been saying, it was like we couldn't really figure out if this was a good time to get signed, a bad time to get signed, and then we were talking to Mo, and he's like, it's kind of a good time because you don't have this immediate demand to start getting out on the road. You can kind of build a foundation first, and then
at the same time,
and then when you get out on the road, you have something, a presence.
It's nice having to be able to take your time and like really kind of perfect things as best.
I would say for a band like that's been around for a little bit, it's kind of whatever. For a band that's just starting out, it's good.
Yeah, like we've only
gives
been
us time to establish a presence
for the last like month and a half. If even we've been like practicing now.
We just played the first thing a month ago.
Yeah, so it's like we weren't like this band who had band practice every week, and
we hit up a couple of our friends. Were like, "You want to play guitar in this?"
Yeah,
project?
we got some
Like,
we got some
shit
friends
to do,
to play with us that are dudes, who
are going to be playing with it. We
we
actually just announced today a live stream on May 28th.
Nice.
We're going to be doing a live stream premiered on Black Metal Promotions.
Yeah,
with,
bringing it back to those
my
guys.
good buddy who I toured with and his band Fister. I played drums with them on tour. He's going to be playing second guitar with us, Marcus Newstead.
Very cool.
And then my buddy Tim Cutterer from Lightning Wolf is going to be playing
some good
bass.
local dudes to play with us that are like respected musicians that work and practice. It's been sounding really good,
Yeah,
and we just did this live stream
crushing it.
Probably gonna we hope is gonna look and sound killer, yeah, we're pretty psyched to finally, once this shit clears up,
do something,
get out there and do some legit shit.
Get to play a show again. It's been a little over a year since my last show.
For sure.
Talk to me about this live stream. What can people expect? At this point when this episode comes out, the live stream will have happened. So we can.
When is this episode going to come out? If you don't.
Oh, I'd have to look at my papers, but.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So late June, early July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So.
I mean, a good light show. We hired a couple.
Sorry, for the live stream I'm talking about.
Yeah. We have we hired a couple buddies of ours who do film production over here. They work for I don't know the name of their film production, but they do a lot of stuff on the side. But it's our buddy Matt Yates who also works for, or it's actually his own cab company, Gatekeeper Customs, and then Jordan Bean. Those guys are really knocking it out.
Yeah, with the Tech Boys.
As we have donned them.
Yeah,
the Tech Boys.
They have been dubbed. Yeah. We had a really cool like LCD screen in there.
Yeah,
they were able to put some cool tight imagery in the back, almost like instead of like almost like it's kind of cool having that. It's like next level, like when you go to the concert that has like a screen, you're like, oh shit,
it's like an actual good production.
Yeah, like it's like having a screen at a
we
live
didn't
show.
Like sit in our living rooms, with our GoPro and try to do something.
We went to a place and they put it together with lights and stuff, and I felt like I was playing a show,
I mean, it was full PA. It was
good mix. So awesome. I mean, let's hope it turns out as rad as any awesome DVD, live DVD would, which I guess is kind of how these things tend to be here. Looks like a live DVD.
This is the next Imperial ceremony.
Yeah. Wow. Oh man, God, that is my favorite live. I love it. Oh yeah,
I love it. Before I had a chat with you guys today, I reached out to a common friend.
Yeah.
Derek Eggerman.
Derek Eggerman.
Yes. I did my first Cryptopsy tour in Europe with him.
Oh yeah,
back when he was playing. No, he was playing with Unmerciful.
Unmerciful. Oh, very nice. Yeah.
And I asked him for one question that I could throw to you, Jesse.
Oh boy.
And I told him to keep it light and fluffy. So
let me. It's not where's my royalty payment. Okay.
where are the mechanics? Let me get those mechanics.
He did talk something about being a ghost bass player, but this is not the question. What are the first few chapters of the book of Bring It On?
The book of Bring It?
Bring It. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that would. Okay. I believe Hatebreed was chapter 1. I believe maybe Lamb of God, New American Gospel. That might have been number 2. I don't know. Meshuggah was, I think, the 4th chapter, but there might have been somewhere in between. The first few, I mean, that definitely Hatebreed, followed by Dying Fetus was, I believe, they were probably the 3rd. Yeah, I think they were the 3rd, or maybe the 4th, or the 2nd. I don't know.
What is the book of Bring It?
Yes.
Well, there never was an actual scripture per se, or tome, as it were, but. Nah, man. When we were friends at like hanging out in Mizzou, really. I remember. I still remember when we first. This dude in the dorms. He had like he had like a Pantera and like Tool booklets like thumbtacked to the outside of his dorm room door just to be like, hey, I like this. And I would always walk by on the way to the bathroom or something, or on the way out of the exit, and be like, this guy knows what's up. And and like this is in like 2000, And so like one time we were coming in, Derek's dorm was like across the courtyard from mine. At one time, like we were coming in and he was like creeping into his room and I was like, oh dude, fuck yeah, dude, Pantera and Tool, that's what's up, you know. And he was like, fuck yeah. And then like we ended up hanging out. I don't know if it was that day or maybe later, but he was like, you guys ever listen to Hatebreed? And we were like, I have not. I was like, I've heard of them because it's Sepultura mentioned them in the Chaos AD booklet where they have the list of bands they thank. And I was like, I read that hardcore, you know, but, and he was like, dude, check it out. And we played a Satisfaction to Death of Desire. And that was the album at the time. Perseverance had yet to come out. And me and Derek were just like, dude, this is fucking heavy as shit. We're like, every song has a fucking breakdown at the end where he yells out something awesome like, all my rage will never burn. We're like, just crushes. This song, bring it. And so we would always, back in the day, and back at that time, we would always say, this is bringing it. Like, you know, we were idiots or whatever. So that was, we're like, this brings it. And then remember we heard like, I think we heard Dying Fetus in New American Gospel around the same time, you know. And I remember we were both like, this is bringing it even harder. Like, this is like the next level of bringing it. You know, we were like, Dying Fetus is just like, this is fucking nothing but just face pounding bringing of it. And then, you know, shortly thereafter, I remember hearing Meshuggah, Destroy, Erase, Improve, you know, like I think Chaos Sphere came out in like 98. So like that was the new one at the time, but Destroy, Erase was the first one we heard. And this, I was like, this is bringing it harder than it's ever been brought before. And that was like the final ultimate level of bringing it. So I'm assuming that's what he's mentioning.
I'm sure it is. I love it. I'm so happy. Whenever I have these situations like this, I love doing things like that. So thank you. Thank you to Derek. Shout out to Derek. I'm sure he can check this
absolutely. Good friend of mine still.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, he played bass on the record, you know.
That's what he mentioned to me as well.
It was like 2 8-hour sessions, you know.
Fuck, it was longer than that, dude. He came in like 2 or 3 p.m. and stayed till probably
5 a.m.
Yeah, it was
when we were like,
because he lives out in California. We're here in St. Louis, but obviously he's got his folks still here in the area. So he was flying in to visit them.
During
we just make a couple times.
Time, or I don't remember I don't remember when we recorded the bass.
We were pretty scattered on when we actually recorded this record. We did most of the drums at once, but like
there was no like real rush to get it done, you know. So, and our friend Dreyfus, who
which is how
a great friend of ours, that's actually how we first started playing together. Is he has a band Xaemora, that's Xaemora, and they've been around for a while. And I remember in 2018 or 2016, I was like, we were playing together at Full Terror. I was playing, and he was also playing, and I was like, dude, I'll play on your thing. And they had a new record or an EP. I was like, I'll play on it. So I played on their EP and started kind of playing in the band, just sort of on a side hustle style, and it was fun. And then Jason started playing a second guitar when one dude bailed, and then Jason got in, and I was like, fuck yeah, I know this guy from around town, you know, here we go. And Dreyfus is the one we had mix our album, because he's kind of like an audio dude, and I can record stuff and I have like some audio, but I mixing is certainly, I don't have the patience for it. I didn't want to do it, you know. Let's have someone else do it. And Dreyfus took care of it for us, and with some back and
we
forth,
actually
like
ended up recording all
really
the guitars over with him as well.
Yeah, so I recorded the drums and vocals and bass down here, but guitars we recorded at Dreyfus' place. Yeah, so he's the guy who mixed it for us, and and so like that's kind of the connection. Why are we talking? Why are we talking about Dreyfus? I don't remember.
About Derek.
About
getting Derek in.
So,
but that led to him being over here. So it was 2 days of him being in town, of long ass bass sections.
It was super fun, you know. Tackle every riff, every part, you know.
Sit down. Let's really try to think about this.
Yeah, it's like
I only have 2 days, but let's make it right.
Yeah, you know, it was it was
comical.
It was Delirium set in. You know how it is when Delirium sets in the studio, and you're just like, oh my god.
You're 6 hours in, and then 10 hours creeps around, and then 12 hours. Like, fuck.
Next thing you know, it's 5 a.m. and you've got half the album done already. Okay.
You're stoned. You're drunk.
And you're
still trying to record.
You can't get the smile off your face, really. You know, you're just having fun.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
That's
what it's all about.
Absolutely.
If you could make a Stormruler beer, What would you call it? What style would it be? What style would it be? What style would it be? You guys have to compromise on this though now.
Mine would just be a repackaged Bush, but I believe we've had this conversation
Storm
at
Crusher.
one point, didn't we? It was probably a
Storm
drunken
Crusher.
conversation.
Stormruler beer. Age of beer and blood. Maybe?
Age of beer and blood.
Age of hops and barley. I don't know. We have a song called Age of Steel and Blood, so I think that'd be a good one to riff off a beer name
Age of beer
somehow.
and blood.
Age of beer
Potentially.
and blood.
Fear the beer.
Ooh, fear the old
Fear the
beer.
beer.
Fear the
Fear
new
the
beer.
beer.
Fear.
That
We have a
has to
song
be
called Fear the Old Blood. Those
like
of you who know.
15% ABV. Fear
Fuck,
the
no,
beer.
no.
Fear the beer.
Yeah.
I mean, if
shit,
you're gonna name
yeah.
a beer, Fear the Beer, it's got to put you on your ass.
Yeah, I guess we
You
do
get
sing about
one.
blood
But you
and
only get
fire
one.
a lot.
Legally, you can only have one, or you sign a waiver.
It might have to be like a red, like an Irish red or something, because we sing about blood and fire all the time.
We do.
So maybe it'd be like a. Yeah, but I'm
Not
not like
any
a
death.
huge. I mean, shit. I would want it to be an IPA because I love IPA. But I don't know. A Stormruler beer. Fuck. It would
Hey,
have
you're
to
the beer
look. The
connoisseur.
can would look tight. I can tell you that.
I'm
It
the
would-
Hoosier who drinks like Bush.
Yeah.
You are the beer connoisseur.
So
Yeah, and I'm not. I
you
am
want a
not even.
Kolsch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me something easy.
Kolsch. That's a good
Yeah.
Kolsch. Kolsch is a style of beer that's like a watery beer, right?
Exactly. It's a light, refreshing, slightly malty.
I mean, Matt, when
Give
you're
me something refreshing.
when you're
yes.
on tour and you're doing like death growls and shit, like is craft beer the way or is the watery like Nar beer the way? You know, I mean,
I have a delicate balance between how much I can have before I go on stage.
yeah, but okay,
Fair.
but for forget about before, after the show, you're done. You know,
Oh, I'll drink whatever the hell I want.
yeah, but do they?
There's
but,
no limits after
But
the set.
sometimes you're fine with just crushing some like Kolsch's, if you will. You know, and sometimes
Oh,
you're just like,
definitely.
you know what? I
A
just
good
wanna...
pre-show beer for sure.
Oh yeah, got to.
I like
Yeah, what's-
everything and all styles, but I typically like to
I mean-
progress throughout an evening of drinking. If I'm going to be enjoying some craft beer, I'll start with a few crushers to get myself
and
going.
then progress
I'll
to
build up-
craftsman.
I'll build up to but they're all craft. I'll start with like a craft lager,
A craft crusher.
and then
okay.
build up to a hazy IPA, and then build
Yeah.
up to a double, and then end up with a bourbon
dark?
age
sour.
imperial stout.
Ooh man, yeah.
Man,
See,
you got a
that's
fucking system.
that
I do.
that is like an evolution.
Down
Yeah,
to a
I
science.
mean,
I
that's
love it.
I do love that. I do love that.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not very picky. My previous band I played in mainly drank Steel Reserve, so I mean,
Which is a beer. I don't know if you know from
I
around
don't.
here, but it's a cheap beer.
it's
you
a
know?
terrible,
Not
very
a-
cheap.
And a natty light.
Somewhat
type.
low brow.
It's a malt beer.
It
and
wishes it was Natty Light. And Natty Light is like, yeah,
you can buy like a
fucking
6-pack for like $1 or something.
ambrosia compared to this shit.
Ooh. But when you do have a system like mine, you need to have a foolproof hangover cure. So I'm curious as to what your hangover cures are.
Pedialyte.
Yeah,
Classic.
Pedialyte, which I
Pedialyte
need
is
to
the
get
way.
I need to get a new jug.
I used to work at a bar for a couple years, and when I first moved to St. Louis, and now everybody in the bar industry up here would drink Pedialyte to either at the end of the night or the morning after.
That's drunk person thinking ahead. I
Mhm.
like
It
that.
is wise move. You know that point, and you're near the Pedialyte bottle, and you're like, fuck, I
Shit,
should
there's like a
have
few
swallowed.
handful of. I think there's a couple bars here in St. Louis that have Pedialyte on tap.
Oh wow,
No.
really? That's
Yes.
wise. Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
wise.
which bar, but I know there is at least one bar in St. Louis that has Pedialyte on tap. I wish I knew the name.
That's exciting.
Yeah, to me,
Yes.
for me, it's a lot of just Gatorade and smoking weed and playing like Resident Evil or something. You know, like
Yes.
something that I can just like sit there and gives me some creepy music or something that I can try to not like lean forward too much, or you know, if my neck hurts or whatever. Yeah,
Close the blinds.
smoking weed and Gatorade is really the only two things I can go with. Drinking water, I guess, but I mean,
A lot of
can I
energy-
smoke weed
lot
on
of
this,
energy
on
drinks.
this thing, or is that allowed?
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Ah, nice. All right.
Especially
We
if it's legal in your state, especially.
Well, it's not, but
Jesse's got his medical card.
yeah, I totally do.
On that note, I was going to say, Jesse, Jason, thank you so much for spending some time with me,
Hey.
talking about your life, music and craft beer. I had an absolute blast. Everyone, go out, listen to Under the Burning Eclipse, the brand new Stormruler album that dropped on May 28th via Napalm Records. I'm stoked about it, and I know you will be too. Thank you guys so much. This was a blast.
Hey, cheers, man. Thanks for having
us. Thank you.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. Man, was this a killer episode. Man, did I laugh the whole time, and then I laughed again when I was editing it. I love when that happens. Can't wait to hang out with Jason and Jesse in the flesh and pound a bunch of craft beers together. This was really, really fun. I bet we can even persuade Jason into becoming a hop head with us. If you enjoyed this Vox and Hops episode, you should sign up to the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast mailing list. You can do that on my website, voxandhops.com. That's VOXandHOPS.com. And when you do that, you shall receive one email a week containing all of the details of everything that has happened throughout the past week in the world of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast. So please do me a favor, sign up to that mailing list because there's just so much stuff going on. I would hate for you to miss a single thing. The Vox and Hops Metal Podcast is brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I hope that you have a glorious weekend. I will be back next week with 3 episodes yet again. But until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.